All right, as you said, I'm Stacy Ham. I'm the Deputy Treasurer. I've been here with the county for 21 years. So I've been collecting taxes for a long time. And Treasurer Adams wasn't able to be here tonight, but I will fill in and hopefully fill his shoes. All right, the mission of the Treasurer's Office is to increase the trust of our citizens for their government by providing professional, innovative, and responsive service to the citizens. As Mr. Brawley said, he actually sends the bills out and we actually collect the bills. So the bills have to be collected through our office. And last year, you can see each year the bills go up and up each year. As Liz said, we have more and more properties that get added in new subdivisions, and that creates more bills, and you can slowly see the increase. Last year we actually collected 507,230 tax bills were actually collected. And dollar-wise, you can see the dollars go up each year. Part of that's due to the millage and part of it's due to the additional bills. But we actually collected 584,503,781. So each year it goes up a little bit more, that the actual collection in the revenue. Now these are actually just the money off of the bills. There's the other credits that Mr. Brawley talked about that we get straight from the state government. But these are the revenues off of the actual bills that we get from the taxpayers. Now there's several ways to pay. The foot traffic is their in-office cashier payments, which are actually taken on this floor. If you walk into the lobby area, we have 3 cashiers, and you can see actually the foot traffic is increased each year. Part of that's due to the additional bills. Most vehicles that are paid, they're paid monthly. They come through here, and the cashiers actually collect last year collected 159,000 bills, which on average is a little over 13,000 every month. If you actually just took an average for the month, which is a lot of bills for 3 people to collect in a month. But you can see it's increased some, and I think part of the reason that this is increased is if you actually pay your tax bill here in the office, we have an agreement with DMV, and if everything checks out at DMV, they let us actually print out your decal that goes on your car. So a lot of people are coming into the office. That's why you see a little bit of the increase in coming into the office, is they actually get their decal and they can put it on the car and don't have to go to DMV and skip a line there. We also have the lines for the people that are coming in to get their exemptions, that while they're in the building, they just go from one line to the next and come across the hall and go ahead and pay the bill while they're here. But like Mr. Brawley said, go ahead and get your exemption earlier, get your credit for your high mileage, and then maybe not stand in line, because the longest lines are definitely the last couple days of the month. We do have online services, and this next one shows our different methods, and the green one is actually our electronic payments, and you can see how that is growing, how it is going up and up. We've actually up to 61,000 payments that are made online through e-checks and credit card payments for our online system, and that has grown tremendously over the last 5 years. And the pink is at the top. The top line is actually our mail-in payments. We actually have an in-house lockbox system similar to what banks have, where you scan the bill and the check and send it over electronically to the bank the same day and get credit for all the payments. And that's our largest form of payment, is actually the mail-in payments, because we get about 224,000 of those. And then the next is our in-house, which is the 159. So altogether, between the mail and the walk-ins, that's about 76% of the bills are paid that way. But that dip in the mail those last couple years, I think, is offset by that increase in electronics. Rather than people actually putting a stamp on an envelope and having to get to the post office to mail it, they're just logging on online and taking the advantage of the convenience of just paying from home or at work or from their phone or wherever they're at. Any of the Richland County MBSC bank branches, you can actually go in and drop off your payment there at that branch, and you won't have to come into the office. So you can get your high mileage, get it mailed back to you, and then stop by your local bank and drop off your payment and not have to come in. And then you'll get your decal mailed to you. And that's the thing. A lot of people, they want that decal in their hand, so they do come into the office. But yeah, definitely electronic is definitely going up. I mean, about 10 years ago, it was only about 12,000 paying online, and now we're up to 61,000 paying online. So it's really, really grown and taken off. People taking advantage of the service. So those are our payments. Now, if you aren't able to actually make your payment in full for your real estate, which we know that from our earlier presentations that's where the bulk of the money is coming from, is from the real estate bills. We actually have a planned payment system program, and we actually act like a bank. We actually act like your mortgage company and escrow your taxes for you. And so you can set up your payments, which when Treasurer Adam took over, there was only about 700 people participating, and now we have over 2,000 people that participate in our planned payment program, where we the program starts when the tax bills go out and end on September 30. So you have to have your taxes paid basically by the time the next tax bills start coming out in November. We pay them all out. If you haven't, so we have also a prepayment. Well, what do I have next? I have the plan payment, where you actually make monthly payments, and we actually escrow your payment each month, and then you can pick however many months you want, and then we'll escrow it. And we also have the ability to do the ACE draft on your account if you fill out the paperwork, and we can draft your check, your monthly amount that you've chosen each month out of your bank account, and then you don't have to worrying about paying it. And then when you'll get a receipt from us each month, and then once we've collected enough, we'll actually pay your tax bill for you. And that has grown a lot in the last 9 years or so. We've gone up to over 85 people doing the bank drafts, which is over a 400% increase. Under the contract here, we still, if you set up under the part pay plan, and this is what this contract, which is pretty small, so you probably can't read it, but we actually will set up your program, but you have to, the contract explains that we're not actually paying your tax bill. We're just escrowing your money for you. So you will still accrue penalties on it if it's not paid out by the time the penalties hit. So if you're waiting till September to pay it out and spreading it out, you still will pay the penalties. You will still get all the notifications for delinquencies, the execution and the certified and all that. You still get all those notifications, and you'll get the additional fees that are paid added to the bills will be added if it's not paid in time. So there's certain agreements, and because we're not actually paying your tax bill, so it's still, the tax bill's on this side still being unpaid, but we're escrowing your money on the other side. And we have a lot of people that actually do prepay, which is our next slide. That has grown tremendously. And get it out. About 10 years ago, it was about a little over 100 people doing it, and now we have 589 people. And this is where, and usually what happens is you do prepay, you do the planned payment for the first couple years, and then you can eventually get ahead. And if you start the bill, you can plan on having it finished before any of the penalties actually hit it. So you're actually prepaying just like you do with your mortgage company. So you can start this January and start paying us every month, and then by October, within 10 months, if we have enough money, or even if you want to go through December and take it over 12 months, then we'll pay your tax bill before any penalties hit starting in January. And that's what our prepay accounts are. And that has grown, and like I said, it's up to 589 people that are actually doing that. And we really try to push people that way. They'll stretch it to September, the first year or two, and then we try to get them to back it up, at least avoid some of the penalties, and then start backing them up a little bit more so they can actually prepay it and avoid all the penalties that are on the tax bills. So we got 2,000 people that are in the program, and we got 589 of them that are in the prepay program. So we're really trying to shift those people around some. So we get a big rush of people in January usually, you know, trying to pay and say, well, at least if I pay $100, it doesn't stop it. And we're like, no, you still get all the penalties. But there's no charge for making the payments. We have the contracts. We can even, if you call in and say you want to do it, we can mail you out the contract. You can sign it, mail it back, and go ahead and just mail in a payment each time. You won't have to even come into the office. You can actually just mail the payments in monthly, or even do the bank draft, and we'll just draft it each month, and we don't charge anything for any of those services. All right, what do I have next? Richland County tax sale. It kind of varies. We usually have the tax sale in November or December, so you can kind of see the kind of goes up and down, up and down. This past year we had in December, and we had 1,487 properties that went to the tax sale. Out of, you said what, we have 170,000 properties, so only less than 1,500 actually went to the tax sale. Prior year it's a little bit higher, but we had in November. Usually the November sales tend to be a little bit higher because the bills are just going out, and if we wait till December, we have like that month to kind of flush out some of the people realizing, oh, you mean I didn't pay last year's, when they start trying to pay this year's and stuff. But it kind of varies anywhere between 2,000 to 1,500 properties that actually go to the tax sale. And we have to pick the different times because we can't sell and redeem the properties. So once we sell the property in the tax sale, which this past year was in December, you have 1 year to redeem it. So if you're the defaulting taxpayer and we sold it for, you said what, $25,000 and you owed us $10,000, you would have to pay the $10,000 back to us for the tax part, and then you'd have to pay interest on the $25,000, which is by statute 3%, and it goes up 3% each quarter. So the first 3 months you would pay 3% on the $25,000. The next 3 months it would be 6% on the $25,000, then 9% up to 12%. Now it does cap at your taxes, so you would never pay more than $10,000 in interest. But on that bid, you know, you're not going to cap at 10 if that was your taxes. But so all you have to do is pay the taxes plus the interest owed to the bidder, and then you could redeem it. So you have a year. But if for some reason you didn't want the property anymore, or you just didn't have the money and you're going to let it go, after that year, and we deed it to whoever bid on the property, you have 5 years from the tax sale, which at that point you have 4 more years to claim the overage. So you can, we send out a letter, certified mail, to everybody that property got deeded. We send them a certified letter within 90 days of the deed that you have X number of dollars available to claim. And you just fill out your claim form, notarize it, mail it back in, and we send you a check. All right, so that's the treasurer's office.